With the rise of bookish aesthetics, I wanted a way to make my bookshelf have a little more personality using alternative book covers. So I did a trial run with like a dark academia aesthetic, and I honestly really loved how they turned out on my shelf. If you want to do the same for your bookshelf, I'm going to show you today how I made those while making a new set of dragon themed alternative covers. I'll also leave you a link if you would like to just get the ones that I'm going to make today. Because making your own is a little time consuming, I'm not going to lie. The ones I'm going to show you on my computer screen are made in Adobe Illustrator. So if you have that program, you would want to open up as many artboards as books that you plan to cover. In my example, I'll be doing 8. Your artboards will need to be 22 inches in width, and then the height will kind of depend on which books you're planning to cover. There are about 3 standard sizes for hardcovers. I would recommend doing 22 length for all of them just to be safe, but with the height, you can either do 8.25, so those are more of your contemporary hardbacks, or smaller young adults, so think like the Selection series, the Divergent series. Your next step up is the 9.25 length. That's going to be like your Cassandra Clare, Fourth Wing, Red Queen, those books. And then there's a 9.5 inch length, and that is most likely to be your Sarah J. Maas hardcovers. Now, I'm sure there's a better way to do this if you're good at math, but the way that I do it is you put a rectangle in the exact center of each artboard, about 2 inches-ish in width. You'll want to make your design that's going to be the center book of your set first, and that will be basically like your dead center. So whatever picture or design you've created that you want to use, you'll put it centered on the artboard. And if there's extra space on the sides, what I found works best is if you take the image, you can do object, image, reflect, and then you just line up the edges so that, you know, like if you have a mountain going down this way and it stops here, it'll sort of just go back up. You're not gonna see this in the book flap, like from your bookshelf, but it's kind of nice to not just have it randomly cut off so that it bleeds, you know, all the way to the end of the page. Once you have that, you can copy everything on the first artboard and move it to your next artboard. This is where you could probably do some math, but I did not. I'll just line up what was the center of the first artboard to be lined up to the next rectangle on the next artboard. And so you'll make sure you're moving from your center point 1 rectangle over, because those are your spines, and so you want them to line up to make the full picture. And then when you're working your way back, you would go on the other side of the center rectangle. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the whole process and speed it up because it does take some time, but that way you can see how it looks from beginning to end. So here we go. So I'll flash the mock-ups for each set on screen so you can see kind of how they would look on your bookshelf. I haven't printed them yet, but I am hoping to print them soon. For the ones I did have printed from my original example, This is sort of a thick matte type of situation. I couldn't get the lightest pound paper because with something that is this dark of a color, it'll look streaky if you print it on a paper that's too thin to handle this amount of ink. I'm hoping to try a few different paper types for the dragon covers just to see kind of what works and what is the cheapest option, so that if you get these templates, then you can kind of figure out which type of paper is going to be the best for you. I'd recommend taking it to like the FedEx print shop or Staples. I've also recently become like a Canva person, and I really do think that this process is possible on Canva. So if you're a Canva person, let me know and I'll go play around over there and see if we can make something similar using that software. If you have any questions or further ideas, let me know in the comments. This was a really fun project and I kind of want to try out different aesthetics and stuff like that. I'm thinking maybe doing something that looks like a sword collection. That one could be really difficult because of all the straight lines, but in my brain it works. So I'm hoping to try that one next. Please like this video if you liked it, click subscribe if you want to talk about more book stuff. My name's Katelyn, thanks for watching. Bye!